Section 1 from the book of Genesis. Abraham travelled from there toward the land of the south and lived between Kadesh and Shur. He lived as a foreigner in Gerar. Abraham said about Sarah his wife, "She is my sister." Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream of the night and said to him, "Behold, you are a dead man, because of the woman you have taken, for she is a man's wife." Now Abimelech had not come near her. He said, "My lord, will you kill even a righteous nation? Didn't he tell me, she is my sister? Even she herself said, he is my brother. I have done this in the integrity of my heart and the innocence of my hands." God said to him in the dream, "Yes, I know that in the integrity of your heart you have done this, and I also withheld you from sinning against me. Therefore, I didn't allow you to touch her. Now, therefore, restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he will pray for you, and you will live. If you don't restore her, know for sure that you will die, you and all who are yours." Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in their ear. The men were very scared. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said to him, "What have you done to us? How have I sinned against you, that you have brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? You have done deeds to me that ought not to be done." Abimelech said to Abraham, "What did you see that you have done this thing?" Abraham said, "Because I thought, surely the fear of God is not in this place. They will kill me for my wife's sake. Besides, she is indeed my sister, the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. When God caused me to wander from my father's house, I said to her, 'This is your kindness which you shall show me. Everywhere that we go, say of me, he is my brother.'" Abimelech took sheep and cattle, male servants and female servants, and gave them to Abraham, and restored Sarah his wife to him. Abimelech said, "Behold, my land is before you. Dwell where it pleases you." To Sarah he said, "Behold, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, it is for you a covering of the eyes to all that are with you. In front of all you are vindicated." Abraham prayed to God. God healed Abimelech, his wife, and his female servants, so they could bear children. For everyone had closed up tight all the wombs of the house of Abimelech, because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Section 2 from the book of Judges. Ehud came to him, and he was sitting by himself alone in the cool upper room. Ehud said, "I have a message from God for you." He arose out of his seat. Ehud reached out his left hand and took the sword from his right thigh and thrust it into his body. And the handle also went in after the blade, and the fat closed on the blade, for he didn't draw the sword out of his body, and it came out behind. Then Ehud went out into the porch and shut the doors of the upper room on him and locked them. Now when he was gone out, his servants came, and they saw, and behold, the doors of the upper room were locked. And they said, "Surely he is covering his feet in the upper room." They waited until they were ashamed, and behold, he didn't open the doors of the upper room. Therefore they took the key and opened them, and behold, their lord was fallen down dead on the earth. Ehud escaped while they waited, and passed beyond the quarries, and escaped to Seirah. When he had come, he blew a trumpet in the hill country of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with him from the hill country, and he before them. He said to them, "Follow me, for forever one has delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand." They followed him, and took the fords of Jordan against the Moabites, and didn't allow any man to pass over. They struck of Moab at that time about 10,000 men, every lusty man, and every man of valor, and there escaped not a man. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel. The land had rest 80 years. After him was Shamgar the son of Anath, who struck of the Philistines 600 men with an ox goad, and he also saved Israel. The children of Israel again did that which was evil in the sight of Forever One, when Ehud was dead. Forever One sold them into the hand of Jabin king of Canaan, who reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose army was Sisera, who lived in Harosheth of the Gentiles. The children of Israel cried to Forever One, for he had 900 chariots of iron, and 20 years he mightily oppressed the children of Israel. Now Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, she judged Israel at that time. She lived under the palm tree of Deborah, between Ramah and Bethel, in the hill country of Ephraim, and the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. She sent and called Barak the son of Abinoam out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said to him, Hasn't Forever One, the God of Israel, commanded, Go and draw to Mount Tabor, and take with you 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali and of the children of Zebulun. I will draw to you to the river Kishon, Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, with his chariots and his multitude, and I will deliver him into your hand. Barak said to her, If you will go with me, then I will go, but if you will not go with me, I will not go. She said, I will surely go with you. Nevertheless, the journey that you take shall not be for your honor, for Forever One will sell Sisera into the hand of a woman. Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali together to Kadesh, and there went up 10,000 men at his feet, and Deborah went up with him. Now Heber the Kenite had separated himself from the Kenites, even from the children of Hobab, the brother-in-law of Moses, and had pitched his tent as far as the oak in Zaananim, which is by Kadesh. They told Sisera that Barak the son of Abinoam was gone up to Mount Tabor. Sisera gathered together all his chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people who were with him, from Harosheth of the Gentiles to the river Kishon. Section 3, from the first book of Chronicles. The Philistines yet again made a raid in the valley. David inquired again of God, and God said to him, You shall not go up after them. Turn away from them, and come on them over against the mulberry trees. It shall be, when you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the mulberry trees, that then you shall go out to battle. For God has gone out before you to strike the army of the Philistines. David did as God commanded him, and they struck the army of the Philistines from Gibeon even to Gezer. The fame of David went out into all lands, and Forever One brought the fear of him on all nations. David made him houses in the city of David, and he prepared a place for the ark of God, and pitched for it a tent. Then David said, No one ought to carry the ark of God but the Levites, for Forever One has chosen them to carry the ark of God, and to minister to him forever. David assembled all Israel at Jerusalem to bring up the ark of Forever One to its place, which he had prepared for it. David gathered together the sons of Aaron and the Levites, of the sons of Kohath, Uriel the chief, and his brothers, 120. Of the sons of Merari, Asaiah the chief, and his brothers, 220. Of the sons of Gershom, Joel the chief, and his brothers, 130. Of the sons of Elizaphan, Shemaiah the chief, and his brothers, 200. Of the sons of Hebron, Eliel the chief, and his brothers, 80. Of the sons of Uzziel, Aminadab the chief, and his brothers, 112. David called for Zadok and Abiathar the priests, and for the Levites, for Uriel, Asaiah, and Joel, Shemaiah, and Eliel, and Aminadab, and said to them, You are the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites. Sanctify yourselves, both you and your brothers, that you may bring up the ark of Forever One, the God of Israel, to the place that I have prepared for it. For because you didn't carry it at first, for everyone our God broke out against us, because we didn't seek him according to the ordinance. So the priests and the Levites sanctified themselves to bring up the ark of everyone, the God of Israel. The children of the Levites bore the ark of God on their shoulders, with the poles thereon, as Moses commanded, according to the word of everyone. Section 4, from the book of Matthew. When Jesus had finished these words, he departed from Galilee and came into the borders of Judea beyond the Jordan. Great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. Pharisees came to him, testing him, and saying, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife for any reason?" He answered, "Haven't you read that he who made them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, 'For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother, and shall be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh,' so that they are no more two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, don't let humans separate." They asked him, "Why then did Moses command us to give her a certificate of divorce and divorce her?" He said to them, "Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, allowed you to divorce your wives, but from the beginning it has not been so. I tell you that whoever divorces his wife, except for sexual immorality, and marries another, commits adultery. And he who marries her, when she is divorced, commits adultery." His disciples said to him, "If this is the case of the man with his wife, it is not expedient to marry." But he said to them, "Not all men can receive this saying, but those to whom it is given. For there are eunuchs who were born that way from their mother's womb, and there are eunuchs who were made eunuchs by men, and there are eunuchs who made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake. He who is able to receive it, let him receive it." Then little children were brought to him, that he should lay his hands on them and pray, and the disciples rebuked them. But Jesus said, "Allow the little children, and don't forbid them to come to me, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to ones like these." He laid his hands on them, and departed from there. Behold, one came to him and said, "Good teacher, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life?" He said to him, "Why do you call me good? No one is good but one, that is God. But if you want to enter into life, keep the commandments." He said to him, "Which ones?" Jesus said, "You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not offer false testimony, honor your father and mother, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself." The young man said to him, "All these I have observed from my youth. What do I still lack?" Jesus said to him, "If you want to be perfect, go, sell what you have, and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. And come, follow me." But when the young man heard this, he went away sad, for he was one who had great possessions.